Morning guys, Toolman Tim here. Welcome back to the workshop where we build business, create community, find freedom, and share success. It's another incredible Tuesday morning, which means it's time for another Toolbox Tuesday. And I've got another gadget that I use on a regular basis that I want to share with you guys. So have you ever had to lift something really big or really awkward or really heavy and you just don't think you're up to it? Well, might sound like an infomercial, but these lowly little straps here claim to turn your arms, your forearms, into a forklift. And I got to tell you, I've used these for a couple of years now, and these little forearm forklifts absolutely work. All right, guys, real quick before we dive into the review. If you don't know who I am, you probably do, but if you don't and you want to know more about who I am, run by toolmantim.co. That'll tell you everything you need to know about who I am, my social media links, the monthly newsletter, the weekly podcast, and of course the shop section where I have over 100 links to Amazon products that I recommend, stuff I've reviewed, stuff that I've used, stuff that's made me money or saved me money in my handyman business. Whole bunch of product categories there. We've got hand tools, painting tools, cordless tools, landscaping gear, household stuff, and preparedness items. So run by there, check that out, and see what kind of things I recommend. And if you pick any of them up, I get a small commission from that, which helps support the content that I create. A couple of years back, I had a big moving job, and for whatever reason, whenever I have to do a big moving job the night before, I get nervous. I always think, some of this stuff's going to be heavy. I don't know if we're going to be able to handle it. I don't know if I don't want to break anything from the customers, that kind of stuff. So I went into my hardware store that morning, and Rod there, awesome guy, he's the owner, and he treats me good. He always has good recommendations, and he says, Tim, have you ever tried these forearm forklifts? I thought, they just look like a cheap ratchet strap to me. I don't know. He talked me into it. I bought them, and of course, as soon as I left, I thought, and he never lets me down with a recommendation. I thought, I'm not going to use them. So we went, and for the next 2 or 3 moves after that, these sat still in the package underneath the back seat of my truck. We ended up having to move this big bureau, or this big hutch, whatever you want to call it. It's a china cabinet anyway. And I thought, you know what? It's time to use these guys. So I went online and I looked. I thought, okay, well, they can't be that difficult to use. And we set them up, and if you've never used them before, they come as a pack of 2, and you'll see this is one end, and they have 3 openings to put your hands through, depending on the right height you need it. And then you loop the item, or loop this underneath the item like this, and you can crisscross them if you want, but I find for the most part they work really well. If you have one person, I'm going to put pictures in here because of course I can't demonstrate it working by myself. Basically you put your hands through, you grab the strap like that, and then you stand up. It brings everything into the body, and what the manufacturer says is that it makes it feel 65 to 70% lighter, and it's absolutely true. Recently we moved it was about a 5-foot long deep freeze full of food, 2 of us easily with one of these. And for 2 of you to try to pick that up, well, what it does is it keeps the item, a bunch of things, but it allows you to not have to lift it all the way up here where you're using your shoulders and your upper back to hold on to everything. It allows you to center the weight. It allows you to keep your hands free when you're going through doorways, which is huge because I don't know if you guys you pick up a big, heavy, awkward item, and then all of a sudden your hands are on the outside and you realize you're too tight of a squeeze to get through. You can't set the item down. You got to shimmy your hands around. You end up injuring yourself, and I've hurt my back a bunch of times doing moves. So these guys have become an indispensable piece of kit for when we're doing big, heavy, awkward moves. Now, of course, say you got a great big, tall china cabinet. Well, in order to pick it up and carry it properly, you've got to bend down and get it up to waist height. So now you've got a 6-foot china cabinet that's 2 or 3 feet above you, and you can't get through a doorway. And you might not be able to flip it over because it has glass doors or whatever. What this allows you to do is to just pick it up 3 or 4 inches off the floor and then walk carefully with it right through the door. King size mattresses, you know how they flip and flop and that sort of thing. You get there's a longer set of straps of these as well. I just ordered a new set, I'll tell you about that in a minute, that you can crisscross, and then you can carry mattresses right up the stairs. Because again, when you go to pick up a mattress, you've got to bring it up to at least waist height, and then it's too tall to get up stairwells. So again, this way you leave it on the longest setting. When you drop it down, pick it up just a little bit, and you just go right up the stairs. Mattresses aren't heavy, they're just big and awkward. They're like a 17-year-old teenager. They might be 6 foot tall, but they only weigh 100 pounds. So it allows you to pick things up in a way that's more natural, cradle the weight to your body, and use more of your muscles properly. And you've got the item secure, so you're not more prone to these twisting and turning and popping injuries that you can end up having when you're holding something in a way that isn't meant for your body to hold it. 4.4 stars out of over, I gotta see it, 10,000 reviews on Amazon. Now, a bit of the reason that rating is a little bit low, you read through the ratings, and number one, some people don't know how to use these. Watch a couple of videos. I'll put a link in the description to let you know how to use them. But number two, and this is the big part, there is a lot of fake ones of these out on the internet. Now you might think, Tim, how in the world can they make a fake forearm forklift? So I actually watched a video from the creator of these quite a while ago, and he was really legitimately concerned about the amount of fake ones of these. At the time it was on eBay, and now they've proliferated Amazon. They're all over the place. Now, if you go in and watch the Amazon reviews, you can actually see where some people have got one set of real ones and one set of fake ones side by side because the Amazon warehouse worker picked the wrong ones. They're shorter, they're thinner, and they're narrower. Now, these guys here say 2 people can pick up 800 pounds worth of stuff comfortably. And I believe it because we've come close to doing it. But those straps that you get, okay, when you go in, make sure on Amazon that you pick these up from the Forearm Forklift store. That's the biggest thing, the most important thing. They're not expensive from them either, but you know, they're about $5 cheaper if you buy them, the Chinese knockoffs. But I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't trust them to lift a bag of pillows. They look like they're made out of absolute junk. So make sure on Amazon you'll see that it's the certified Forearm Forklift store. These guys have changed my life because I have twisted and turned and tweaked things in my back so many times. We use these all the time now. In a pinch, you can take a ratchet strap out and, you know, just with the one buckle on the end and take the full thing out of the actual ratcheting mechanism, and you can use those in a pinch as well. They've worked. I've done it with a customer when we showed up and didn't have any. He's like, oh, let me show you. And it does work. Harder on the hands, bites into the material a little bit more. So look for these guys. There's a couple other ones. These are the shorter ones. We use these the most. There's a longer set that I just ordered that you can use for like king size mattresses. And I also just ordered a set that come with a back brace as well. So the whole thing is tied in, you crisscross them, and it's tied into a back brace so it holds onto your shoulders and gives you that much extra support when you're lifting things. So for real big, heavy items, that'll be the next thing that we pick up and test out. But for now, if you guys are looking for, of course, it is a 2-man operation, these items. But one other thing, one kind of cool little trick or hack you need to do, say you got a really heavy, like we had a grandfather clock that we needed to move, and we didn't want to really tip and twist a whole lot. So what you can do is just tilt it back a little bit, slide this under there, and you don't even have to pick it up off the ground, but what it allows you to do is kind of pull up on the weight of an item and then just kind of slide it to the side. So you just have 2 hands here. It saves you, it's a lot easier on the furniture and it's a lot easier on your floor. But like I said, you need 2 people to use these, but a husband and wife can easily use these to lift heavy items if you follow the directions. So if you're looking for a way to save your back, save some time, and maybe save some furniture that you didn't want to break, check out the Forearm Forklifts. These guys have been a lifesaver to me. All right, guys, that's it for me this week. If you're new and you want to hang around 5 videos a week, hit the subscribe button and stick around. Introduce yourself in the comments. If you've got suggestions for other products you'd love to see me review, throw them down there as well, because most of my ideas come from you guys, and I appreciate that. And you always know I love you guys coming in and hanging out with me in the workshop. So thanks, guys. So as always, stay happy, stay healthy, and have a great week.